Hello, welcome to Gambit, and this topic I'm going to talk about today, it's still on the sort of moral grounds of games, but it's not a theme.
You and your morality.
We're not continuing this any longer, or at least I hope not. It's just something that appeared in the news very recently. Are violent games video?
What?
Are video games violent?
Yes, there are violent video games, but
Do they make people violent?
no.
Exactly.
Inside your head, right? Because inside your brain, right? I don't know a lot about psychology.
Here
But
we go.
basically, in your brain, there's very, very powerful mental barriers that, between sanity and murder. You can't.
Yeah.
It's very hard to break through them. It's like how there's that much training involved in military exercises and stuff like that. That's to get past that. That sort of barrier we've got against killing.
There's not going to be some way of a game breaking that barrier, no matter how violent or gross it is.
Yeah, it's like, and the thing is, it's all about tone as well. People say, "Oh, this game's violent," and it's like, yeah, but it's got this stupid tone to it. And it's like it's meant to be. It's taking the piss out of the whole thing. It's a parody. It's really. I don't agree with that at all. That whole video games make people violent, and the people that do end up becoming violent have already got something wrong with them.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not the video games that have made them
Which
violent.
is what the story I'm going to talk about, because this old argument's rekindled itself in the news. Anne McGuire, our teacher, was stabbed. It's like the proper news. She was stabbed by one of her students.
I thought I read it was shot.
She was stabbed.
Was it stabbed? Okay.
She was stabbed several times. Not that it's details, but the student who stabbed her apparently played Call of Duty and Dark Souls.
Right.
Which is exactly, it's not the most violent of games.
That's the thing, it's like, those two games exist in two different planes of existence in gaming. Dark Souls is a fantasy RPG, and Call of Duty is a realistic modern warfare. Now, Call of Duty has a lot of things wrong with it. It's sort of creepy. I find it creepy, but I don't find it creepy politically. Not,
It's not creepy.
not like a creepy like horror game. Or whatever. I mean, like politically, just like that sets off the wheel alarm in my head. It's not right because it's quite jingoistic.
Well, yeah.
It's always Americans fighting, Russians or the entirety of South America, or like a similar game to that, not the Call of Duty series, but Homefront. All of Korea conquers Asia and then invades America. What? It's extremely jingoistic. That's where Call of Duty is weird. Dark Souls, it's like, what was he expecting? That he kills her and her souls come out and he can level up.
Well, I don't know. Dark Souls can drive anyone to be murderous.
What was the headline?
Well, it was Anne McGuire was stabbed by a student.
Yeah, well, where did they find the link though?
Well, actually, they found the link because they looked at his Google Plus and YouTube channel, and this is what I'm worried about. Because I've got both, and apparently they can look at them whenever they want. But he watch a lot of Call of Duty videos and a lot of Dark Souls videos, and that does not imply that he played these games.
Yeah, but even if he did, he probably did. If he
yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like they've just seen this. Nothing's been said about like is the guy still alive? Has he been arrested or is he?
He's been arrested, but I don't know what's gonna happen. He's 15 years old.
It's like this is all speculation and it's jumping on fear mongering.
Yeah.
I think when something like this happens, it's like have they released the name of the assailant?
No.
Right, that's
assailant.
Better then. That's but if I'm trying to be professional.
I'm trying, failing.
In America, it's like and over here, BBC are really bad for it. And it's like they create this sort of circle of hate, but also put the killer or assault person. There goes the professionalism on a pedestal for everyone to see, and that's wrong. But it's like but what happens is they look because they know there is an audience out there that's going to go, those video games, violent video games, and I hate it because I bet there's at least a portion of the people that read this who now more firmly believe that video games make people violent, and that's just simply not true. And it's just because you watch some videos on the internet and they say that's proof. That's not proof. I bet there was a psychologist, police psychologist who's now going that these serious mental problems.
There may have been problems he had before because in the article I read, apparently all his students and his friends said he was into heavy metal. He had a Grim Reaper as a cover page, and he was quite a loner at school apparently, and quite quiet and always strange, which is nothing to go by.
It's
Nothing to go by,
That's
but
nothing to go
still.
by. It's just
Obviously, I had like deep psychological problems through maybe being brought up or
yeah, I think
something deeper than that.
maybe something like that, or it could have just been him lashing out. I mean, we don't know if he, because I ain't know when it's going to say if he was bullied or anything. You know, we never know what his situation was. But that's what it is. This is the problem. Isn't this kid in the assault? Well, it's a terrible thing. The problem here is the media and the way they're basically trying to find something to lampoon. You know, they're just saying, right, this is what the problem is. Look at this. Oh my God, games are terrible. Because they know it's going to get readers. They know that there's that section of society.
It's been brought up before, and it kind of died down a bit, but now it's been...
Every school shooting. They look at their house and they go, "Oh my God, he plays video games." What?
What are they expecting to see? Books everywhere.
What 16 to 25, 30-year-old boy or man doesn't play video games? You know, there's very few of them out there.
Of any kind.
It's the biggest entertainment industry in the world, as I've said before. There in some way they're going to be linked to it.
Well, there's a slightly brighter note I have here.
Bro,
everyone has been talking about how there's a batch of E.T. games made by Atari found in New Mexico.
Not a batch.
It's a batch.
It wasn't a batch. It was everything. 6 million copies of it dumped.
A rather large batch, if you would so will. But it was a batch.
Barely a batch. I'd call that a fucking pile.
It was a hell of a lot.
And it wasn't just those. It was like old Atari consoles that they couldn't sell off.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it wasn't the Atari 2600 because that was quite successful, but it's I think it was one after that. They buried them because the failure of Atari is put down, and quite honestly, that's what happened to the E.T. Atari game, which was terrible. Because this was released for the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
And it was a major flop, and that's they spent millions.
So major. They decided to bury it all in the middle of Mexico. That's just so ridiculous.
They decided to spend millions getting the copyright for this game, and it was a tip. I'm gonna actually go see if I can put some video of it just to know what we speak, because it is that terrible.
Yeah.
And
I don't think you'll find footage of it because
there's footage of it. It was released and people have copies and it's emulated, so
that's ridiculous.
But it was
apparently the game was so bad. It wasn't that it was terribly made or the gameplay was terrible. Probably was for the time, but it had so much bugs in it. Like the released version.
No, that's the thing. Even the gameplay was terrible. Even for that decade, even the graphics were bad for that time.
Even the gameplay you did see were actually still terrible.
Yeah, the whole thing was a major mess, and it's to be honest, from Atari, there's no excuse.
Do you know why it became a myth though?
I don't think they never really announced that they were burying them, did they?
Well, they didn't announce it, but New York Times said do an article on it that the Atari were burying all the games, but that's actual footage. So how can a myth be there for so long if there was actual proof of it actually happening at that time?
I think they would have put somewhere this is unconfirmed because it might have just been a game store getting rid of them.
Maybe
they might have just seen some of it, not the whole batch, and they didn't know if it was linked to Atari or anything. So they might have just said, it's this is not confirmed at Atari, and Atari never confirmed it. They don't want to, because if their stock price would drop massively if they said they're going under.
I just think video games in 1983 weren't as big as they are now, so people just kind of read it and went, they're dumping their stuff in the middle of Mexico. Who isn't these days? Well,
it was a niche audience. It's there was an audience, but there was an audience that really cared about it.
Especially New York Times. I mean, what kind of gamers will be buying that paper just to sit down and read over their Earl Grey breakfast?
New York's a major city. It's bound to be a good portion of gamers even then.
Very minor.
It's a minor portion, but there'd still be a lot of people who would be, and it'd be also interesting. Also, like they do, New York Times, announce stock prices and everything. Anybody that maybe had stocks in Atari at that point would have been selling as quickly as possible before the stock price dropped.
Or just dumping it in Mexico.
I don't think you can dump stock in a landfill. No, but I was with the myth build up, and now it's a construction in New Mexico has dug it back up and found it, and that's awesome.
That is awesome, yeah.
Well, that's awesome for the final proof, that they did.
There was
buried it all. Oh, it was sad that Atari went down, but just
they deserved it.
Yeah, after that
After
game
that.
deserved it.
Right, I mean, I'm all out of information.
You're
I'm
all out of
all
information?
out.
There was something I think I was gonna say, but I'm just I think I've forgotten it, so we'll leave it for next time.
Alright, we'll leave that for next time.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've been watching Gambit.
But wait, before you go, actually, the actual it was $310
$10
million.
Yeah, I forgot that bit. The lost.
I'm gonna find out exactly how much they see if I can find out how much they paid for the copyright and just put it underneath. But
That'd be
I
quite
think it was
hard
a couple
to find.
million though just for the
Oh,
copyright.
yeah.
That's bullshit.
Anyway,
Anyway,
this has been Gambit, so please feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you so wish. And we'll see you next time when we're playing Dark Souls next video, aren't we?
yeah, we're playing Dark Souls.
I can't wait.
Terribly. Well, that's it because you're still playing.
Yeah, we're doing a live feature. Anyway, we'll tell you that next time.
Right.